Hello and welcome to another TreadNet video process learning where we're going to show you different processes and tasks you can perform within the system. Today we're going to go ahead and learn about the admin panel. And so this is going to be available to all admin users for particular ship tos and sold tos. So we're going to start at the main screen, and the way to access the panel, if you have it available for you, is just clicking on the admin panel. That's going to bring up the main panel where you're going to have all of your users available for the particular locations that you support. Now, we're going to go step by step through each one of these tabs and look over access requests and permission requests, as well as creating a user. So first of all, we're going to go through the access request. Now, this is going to show all users that are requesting access to your particular location or locations. Here we have their name, user ID, email address, and a certain action. You can go ahead and view requests. So we're going to go ahead and open that one up here and go through the process of viewing the requests they did. We have their user ID, first name, last name, and other different job title and information that can be put in there. Make sure all that's correct, or make sure everything is approved on that one, then move to the next one. And this is going to bring up the locations that they have available to them. And this is where you can actually change their access in regarding to, I want this particular user to have access to, this particular location, this build to, this ship to. You're going to go through there and click the necessary boxes to enable that for that particular user. So the more you have in here, you can scroll through it and click and unclick based on what that particular person needs access to. So we're just going to go ahead and say that they're remaining for everything. Now, like any kind of tree, and when you click on this one, it'll highlight everything below it, but you can always go down and search the locations and click the particular location if so choosing. I do have this stuff blocked out just for proprietary reasons, but when you go into yours, you'll be able to see all the locations as well as their address. So we have a location access basically defaulted and shipped to for them. So we're going to go ahead and go over their roles. Now this is where you can go ahead and change and add a particular role for that particular person. If you want to learn more about the roles, we do have an e-learning and interactive guide within the learning management system for you to be able to take and review, so you make sure to pick the right role for that particular user. As you can see, we have all of these roles. We're going to go through kind of each one of these here to kind of give a little bit more details on each one of them. A buyer is pretty much self-explanatory here. You have the ability to go through and to order products for the account that's assigned to the particular ship to. Now, you also have the ability to view shipments ordered for the location. Now, one thing I wanted to tie in with the buyer is this price order or order price simulation. Now, what the order price simulation is, it's something that can be added to the buyer role. This will allow the buyer to view the final price of the products in the cart, but both roles must be active within that user's profile for this to happen. So these two are going to kind of run simultaneously. So that's just one thing to remember when you're thinking about roles here. So if you're able to go through and order products, but all of a sudden you don't see that price order, that final order simulation on there, you can actually check with your admin and see if that's actually activated. Admin, we've talked about this plenty of times here. Admin will essentially have the key to all of this here. They actually have all of these open for them to be able to go through and actually access it and do certain admin tasks. Now they may not want to have all these assigned to them, which they can definitely alter, but the admin will at least be the main gatekeeper in regarding to the people that are in those roles that are doing those aspects. Okay, shipment. So the shipment role allows user to view all shipments for their assigned ship tos. Now, this includes like viewing products ordered and just like the status of those shipments. AR statements, accounts receivable statements. This is going to include things like invoices and certain things along that lines, which will be done within the system as well as through another system we have releasing later. Reporting, we have the reporting capability. We went through that in another video where you go through the Tableau reporting, where you're able to see reporting for that particular type of role. Now, order number, order only, just like a sales role. And this user has the ability to order products for the account for their assigned to like ship to. The main difference is that the sales role doesn't have the ability to view pricing. So they can go in there and they place the orders, whether they do like bulk ordering through the my part numbers, things along the lines, but they will not be able to view the pricing. They're simply just going in there to order, and that's it. We mentioned my part numbers. This is the ability to be able to use those part numbers when you're ordering or when you're searching through the products, and you saw that on the main dashboards. Delivery receipts or DRs, that will allow that user to be able to go in there and view DRs, whether also be able to create them. Now on the fleet side, you're also going to be able to go in there and approve some or reject some based on those delivery receipts. Now, again, if you needed more information about any of these, like the contents within each one of those, definitely recommend using some of the e-learnings that we have, as well as guides, as well as there's also other videos that will kind of go more into depth. This is just like a general overview of that, what that role will have the ability to do. Now, the next one we look at is warranty. Now, the warranty claims role will have the ability to view, create, and edit warranty claims for their assigned ship to. Dispute, essentially the same thing. If that is activated, that user will be able to create a dispute as well as view all the disputes within the actual TreadNet ordering system. Now, the view only is a role that just allows users to view warranty, disputes, shipments, orders, and invoices for their assigned ship tos. Essentially just a view only. They are not going to be able to place orders or do anything on regarding to creating disputes or warranty claims, things along the lines. Essentially, it's self-explanatory. It's a view only role. And then the last one we have is invoice. Now, if they're activated for the invoice role, then they'll be able to view all the invoices, email them, download them, however they need to be able to obtain those invoices for that ship to. And give them a couple here just for just for examples here. Now, as you see, once I choose a location and once I chose a role, I do have the ability now to approve. You also have the ability to deny. The deny will always be available no matter what you click. So if you don't want that access or that user to have access, you can go ahead and simply deny that particular user's access. We're just going to go ahead and approve this one here. And that'll save the details for us. And you can go back and change if you want to. Any kind of changes that you make, that the approval will show back up to go ahead and put them through. But we're going to go ahead and go back to the main admin panel so we can view our access requests or permission requests next. So we'll wait for that to come up here. All right, so we're back to our main admin panel, and the next one we're going to look at is permission request. Now, these are going to be existing users that have the ability or want to actually change their permissions. So if they've requested permission to an access or a particular role, we can go through there and do that. Now, again, you have your name, user ID, email address, and their action. Hit on the action will bring up an approve or deny. You can also click on the actual name here for it. And this will actually show what they're actually going to be wanting to request. We have our locations, so if anything's been clicked on or changed, that'll show up in there. You'll see all the check marks there, and then also any kind of roles. So you see my save changes up here. This is essentially the same thing as like approving it from the main screen, but if you ever want to view more details, you click on the username or click on that request, you'll be able to see it. So for this particular user, they're wanting to essentially change their permission to be a buyer, admin, and invoice. So if you want to go ahead and approve that, you can actually go ahead and hit Save Changes, and that'll save that particular user and they'll have new access for it. And it brings us right back to the main users screen. So if you were to find that search, you can also search their users on here by clicking on their username and searching it that way, which will change the view up here for that particular user. You also have a status for them here. If you want to go ahead and disable somebody, you can disable somebody from the main user screen. But if you don't want to, essentially deleting them, you do it that way. Now, the last part we're going to look at is the creating the user part. Now, we're going to go ahead and go through and create a user for an example here. So we just click the Create User button on the right. And here we are at the main Create User screen. So we have general information, locations, and roles to fill out. So we're just going to go ahead and go through a sample on that and just essentially go through as much as we can here. I'll put some information in there for you so we can have some kind of request. All right, and I am a buyer, for instance. Let's put that in there. All right, so we got general information filled out. We're going to go ahead and go over locations. Now I'm only going to be working with this main build too. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on this one, or I want this main person to be clicked on this particular one for that. All right, I got that one going through. I can also come up here, the default ship to, where you'll see all of your ship tos available where you can actually make a default ship to for them. So if you want to click on a particular one, clicking on them, and then it'll actually populate as your default ship to. And then the last step we're going to move over is to roles. And but for this particular user, I want to basically make them an admin and also, this is some invoice, some order price simulation. Again, you can get all this information in regarding to role details, and these roles will expand over time as well. All those e-learnings and interactive guides will be available with updated roles as well as what those roles have the ability to do and what they can view. We're just going to click a few just to go ahead and kind of save the change here. So once we've gone ahead and created that user, we can go ahead and hit Save Changes there. And once that user is created, it'll bring you back to the main admin panel where you'll actually have all your users. Now, if you want to go ahead and search for that particular new one, you can go ahead and do that by finding their username. And you can go ahead and see that particular user loading up here. And now the user shows up there, and you can go ahead and click on their name, enable, disable like you've done before. And that concludes the admin panel TreadNet video process learning. We hope you enjoyed it, and this will go a long way for you, and we look forward to you viewing other videos of ours. Have a great day.